on TikTok, Instagram, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, we are live.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. Okay. Is it possible to get the TikTok screen? Then you can see the comment.
Oh, bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Okay, hello everybody. It's me, Teacher Nathan, back again. And today, for our 4:45 lesson, we'll be talking about the questions and answers to Henry Park Primary School paper, Prelim Exam 2023. Okay, we'll spend a few minutes waiting for everybody to for more people to come in, and then we'll start our lesson proper. Okay, and today joining us on TikTok, we have our class pet over here, Mochi. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. And Mochi will be learning English with us today. Oops. Okay, so Mochi is here. Hello, hello, everyone. After that, we also have Ronnie with us today. Hello, everybody. Great to learn English with everyone again. Okay, and there'll be our class pets and joining us for TikTok live today. Okay. Okay, come, let's begin the lesson proper now. Okay, everybody, Ronnie will be sitting here. You may not be able to see him all the time. Okay, come, let's start with grammar first. So for question 1 over here, I'm not fond of animals, dash, I don't keep any pets, said Michael. So this question tests you on conjunctions. So let's go to our keywords, okay? Our keywords over here include fond of animals, which is the cause, and I don't keep pets, this is the effect. So let's take a look at the options available. So tells you results. For tells you reason. But and though gives contrast. So because we have cause and an effect, this question would require us to give so. Now, moving on to question number 2. She won't be angry if we are a little late, dash. This is known as question tag. For a question tag kind of question, we need positive and negative. So over here, it's really stated that won't. Won't means will not. So for the other part over here, it will require us to be positive because will not is negative. Therefore, the answer will be number 3, will she. Now, moving on to question 3. This is known as a preposition question. All right. So the question goes, if this dress does not fit, you must return it to the store dash 7 days to get a refund. So you can see that 7 days here is a time period. Now let's go through our options available. Firstly, within tells you a deadline. Inside and outside tells you about a place. And without is actually not a preposition. So if we go by elimination, without would be wrong already. Then if you take a look this one is talking about time period, therefore the answer is within. Place is like inside the classroom. Okay, so we are talking about this inside. So inside the classroom. So example, hello Ronnie. So Ronnie is now inside the camera frame. That means you can see Ronnie and he's inside this place. Now next. Okay, Ronnie, are you alright to go out? Okay. Okay, now you see when Ronnie wants to move out of the camera frame, you will say outside. Therefore, we use outside. Okay, this is just preposition of place. Now moving on to question 4. Kavita helped her brother dash the furniture into his new apartment. So this question focuses on tenses. So let's take a look at the keywords. Helped is past tense. Now let's take a look at the options available. Move and moves. These are present tense. Then we have moved, which is past tense. And we have moving, which is present continuous. Present continuous means that something is happening at the time of speaking. Okay, this is at the time of speaking. Now for question 4, the answer would be 1. Because help her brother. Okay, you take a look here. There are 2 different subjects. So for subject verb agreement, we will always use the base form. Therefore, the base form of move, all these options is actually first one, move. Okay, so let's move on to question 5. The battle is of great historical significance, but dash know of private Lim's involvement in securing victory over the enemies. So let's take a look at the key. Okay, before I go on, let me just tell everybody that we are talking over here about quantitative adjectives. So we are talking about numbers. Now, going back to the question, we have a few keywords to underline. Great historical significance. Private Lim's involvement. And after that, we also have this word here, but to show contrast. So we can see that this is something very important. So let me just write down important. But over here, you can see that private Lim's involvement and with a but means that likely no one knows about it. No one knows about it. So because no one knows about it, the answer would either be option 1 or option 2. But you can see over here is knowledge. Knowledge is something that is uncountable. But hey, let's take note. Over here, are we talking about the knowledge or we're talking about the people who know things? Can you see there are 2 different things? Ronnie may have the knowledge. He has his brain here. He can think about certain history lessons. But we're talking about people like Ronnie who know about private Lim's involvement. So actually we're talking about something that is countable. So if it is countable, come, let's take a look, Ronnie. There's few and little. So Ronnie tells me that actually few is for countable and little is for uncountable. So because of that, actually the answer would be number 1, few. Okay? I can see that some of you tuning in and given likes. Thank you so much. If you have any comments or you know the answer, please type them in the comment section. Then we can discuss also. Alright? This should be a 2-way session where we can just talk to one another via TikTok. Okay? Okay, come, let's go on to question number 6. By the time Johnny arrived at the party, Wendy dashed her favorite song and left. So this is again tenses question. Now let's take a look at the keywords that we have. Hello, Celestial. Please say hi to Mochi over here. Hello, hello. After that, we have Ronnie over here. Hello, everybody. Hello. All right, so let's take a look at question 6. Okay. First keyword that we have, arrived. This is past tense. Then let's take a look at the options available. Sang is past tense. Then sings is present tense. Is singing. This is present continuous. So cute. Who are you referring to? Mochi? Hello. Thank you. Or you talking about Ronnie? Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, very good. Are you sure it's, wait a minute, and is 1? Okay, come. Let's focus on our question first. No, the answer is not 1. Celestial. Okay, let's take a look at is singing. As I was saying earlier, is present continuous, which means that it's happening at the time of talking. Okay, the action is happening at the time of talking. Now we have the last one, had sung, which is past perfect, which basically means action. I see, you change the answer. Action occurred in the past before another action occurred. So over here, the answer actually is 4. Because if I were to draw a timeline, okay, so we are talking about Wendy singing the song. Then over here, Johnny arrived. After that, we are talking about, then here is the present. So we are talking about 5 p.m. Johnny arrived at 4 p.m. and Wendy was singing the song at 3 p.m. So because this is past action 1 and this is past action 2, we will use had sung, which is past perfect tense. Okay? I hope everyone is clear on this. Let's go on to question 7. The police officer, along with his K9 unit, dashed patrolling the streets tonight. This is also a tenses question. So let's take a look at the keywords. Police officer, this is 1 person. Along with his K9 unit, this is additional info actually. And patrolling, this is present tense. So if we take a look at the options, the past tense options will be up. And since this is additional, we focus only on police officer, which is 1 person, therefore is. Okay, very good. Celestial, very good, is. Hello, Rex, RUKSOF, Ricksoft241. Please say hello to Mochi also. Hello, hello, hello. Then we also have Ronnie with us today. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's do grammar. Okay, come. Let's carry on with question 8. Dash for the track and field competition for the past year, asked one of the athletes. This one, you need to take a look at the keyword past year. So actually this means that the action here started last year, but is still continuing. Okay, so we take a look at the options available. Did you train? This is past tense. Are you training? This is present tense. Have you trained? This is option 3, present perfect tense. So what does present perfect tense means? That means action completed at the time of speaking, but take note that fact is still felt. This is for option 3, okay, like that. Then lastly, option 4, we have something known as present perfect continuous. This means that action began in the past, but still ongoing. Please take note, everybody. This one is completed. The action is already done, but this one is the action is still ongoing, even though you can see both is something that is in the past. Okay, so you can take a look at this question here. So the athlete, right, has been training since last year until now. At this point that we are talking, he's still training. So from 2023, 13 June to 2024, 13 June. You can see that 23rd June, okay? Let me just show. Okay, so since this start date all the way until now, he's still training. Therefore, the answer will be number 4. Okay, very good. Say that still. The answer is not 3. Because 3 means that the action was completed at the time of speaking. That means today, the athlete stopped training. However, this question say that this question, the intent actually is for the athlete to continue training. You see, in our sentence over here, there isn't any clue to show that the athlete has stopped training. It's only one athlete asked the other. But it doesn't mean that today, on 23rd June, is the competition. Therefore, the more accurate answer would be number 4, which means that that means you start training on 23rd June 2023, and as of today, 1 year later, you are still continuing this action. Okay? So let's continue with question 9. Mr. Zeniel and his daughter like to wash the car dash rather than take it to the car wash. So over here, this is a pronouns question, okay? And over here, we have 2 people, Mr. Zeniel and his daughter. So we'll use the word themselves because of 2 people, my keyword. Now, moving on to question 10. Dash of the suspects was interrogated separately by the police detective. So number 1 is need to take note. Was. So this is singular. Oh, hello everybody. I see more people coming on board. So please join us in learning our English, and we have Mochi, our class pet, here with us today to learn. Okay. Okay. So let's take a look at number 10. After we understand that was is for singular, let's take a look at the options. All, any, and some, these are for more than one person. But you can see, my clue already stated that only one person can. We are referring to something that is singular. So as such, my only answer is each. Okay, for everybody's information, very good. 3, very good, Celestial. So you can see from this question, we call it indefinite pronouns. What does this mean? This means that it does not replace, does not name the noun it replaces. What are nouns? Nouns are basically an object. So Mochi itself is an animal. So this is also considered a noun. But if let's say I were to say one of the class pets join me today. So let's say now we have Mochi and another class pet over here is Ronnie. So Mochi and Ronnie, so some of the class pets join us for class today. Now I look at Dee Lina. how will the sentence structure if it involves more than one suspects? Okay, can. So if there's more than one suspect, okay, so it will be some of the suspects were interrogated. So my clue will always be what is the whether it's a singular or plural word here. Okay. Let's say I want to use all. Also can. All the suspects were interrogated by the police. Okay. That's how it works. Okay, I'll just give everyone 1 minute to take down or digest the information before I carry on with vocabulary. Okay, now let's go on to question 11. The dress code policy in school, which banned certain types of clothing, was considered dash, with some feeling it was unfair and others feeling it was unnecessary. So you can see one keyword that I have here is it was necessary. The second key phrase I have is feeling unfair. So you can see that there are contrasting viewpoints. Now let's go on to the options that are given to me. First one, trivial. Trivial means not important. So you can say, for example, if Mochi and accidentally drops its backpack over here, you can see this very cute seal backpack, then it's very trivial. It's not important to me because number one, teaching is my main priority. And number two, Mochi can just put on the bag again. You see? Like that. Then you just put on the bag. So this means that it is not the most important thing I need to do. Right, Mochi? Yes, everybody. Yes. Okay, you see? Now, let's go on to second option. Second option means satisfactory means it's accepted. So, for example, I went the food at Ya Kun Toast was satisfactory. That means the coffee that I had was okay. I enjoyed the meal. Now, insignificant also has the same meaning as option 1, which is not important, while controversial means there are disagreements. So if you look at the keywords that I highlighted, some say it's unfair, others seems necessary. So these two groups of people would argue with one another, which means disagreements. So therefore, my answer is controversial. Next, let's go on to the question 12. Mr. Tan, a retired man in his 70s, has been leaving his home of 40 years to live with his married son and grandchildren. So let's highlight the keyword first. Home of 40 years. You want to leave this place. That means you're going to move out of somewhere you have been very familiar with. Now let's take a look at the options that are given to me. First one, reflecting. So reflect means you think about something. Next, meditating means you intervene in a conflict. Speculating means you talk about something without evidence. And last one, contemplating means you think deeply about something. Okay, so you see, he's going to live somewhere he has lived. Mr. Tan will move out of his house where he has lived for so long. So it's a big decision. So if it's a big decision, you need to think deeply. Therefore, the answer is number 4. Now, number 4 is very similar to number 1. But for number 1, you reflect. Usually it's on an activity. Therefore, some of you may encounter the teacher saying, please reflect on your actions. So let's say somebody did something naughty, then the teacher say reflect on your naughty actions. Okay, the keyword is it needs to be an activity. Now, moving on to question 13. Since the chairman of the company was ill, the meeting was dashed that day. The meeting will be rescheduled when he is well. First key phrase, ill, chairman ill. Second, meeting was rescheduled. So let's take a look at the options available. First one, called for. Called for means you make something necessary. Option 2, called off. Called off means you cancel something. Option 3, order. Or called up, that means you order someone for military. Called out. Called out means you draw attention to unacceptable behavior. Okay, so you see the meeting was rescheduled and there's a reason here. Chairman was not feeling well. So the most accurate option actually is number 2. So you cancel the meeting, after that then you start the meeting another day. Now, for our friends who are in the Writers at Work TikTok live now, if you have any other answers or you have questions regarding to our text or what we are going through, please feel free to add them in the comment section. Okay, and we have Mochi, our class pet, joining us today. Hello everybody. Okay, so if you want to learn or talk to Mochi, you also can type it in the chat, because Mochi is also facing my little screen in front here, and she'll be looking at the chat also. Okay, and not forgetting we have Ronnie and his friends. Okay, so we have 3 of our class pets today with us. Now, moving on to question 14. Medicine should be kept where it is, dash to children to prevent accidental poisoning. So the first key phrase that I have is to prevent accidental poisoning. And next one is medicine. So if you take a look at the options available, invisible means, okay, I see Didi Lina already says number 2. Number 2 is correct. Now, inaccessible means out of reach. That means I cannot take the medicine easily from someone. Now let's take a look at the other options, because during your test, the other options can be also included. Invisible means cannot see. Inconvenient means you cause problems. And inappropriate means unsuitable for certain circumstances. So I could say it's inappropriate for me to wear shorts or my singlet to school, because you need to wear your school uniform. Now let's take a look at number 15. It will take all your dash and willpower to be able to walk again after the accident. See the doctor to his patient. Now, the key words that I have here is walk again after the accident and overhead accident. Okay, so we are talking about I see crew said determination. Very good. The answer actually is determination. Determination means you want to overcome some challenge. And over here in our question, the challenge is after your accident, so probably his legs are injured. Now, what is creativity? Creativity means original idea. Okay, happiness means that you are happy, like Ronnie here. Hello everybody, it's good to be in class again. Okay, then we have intelligence. Intelligence means that you are smart, you are using your brain. Okay, all right, so I'll just give everybody some time to digest the information before we go on to our vocab flows. Hello, aspect. Okay, come. Let's take a look at those passage now. Albert Einstein is considered one of the most intelligent people in history. However, as a child, he struggled in some subjects in school but performed well in mathematics and science. Now, let's take a look at this. Performed well. Performed well. Okay, first option here, excel. Excel means you are good at something. Achieve means you reach a goal with effort. Succeeded means you achieve desired result. And accomplish means you complete something. All options are actually quite similar. Okay, Billy Lina said is number 1. Very good. The answer actually is number 1. But if you take a look at the other options, they are also very similar. So why is it that number 1 is the correct answer? First, let's take a look at the keywords. See, the next sentence states clearly that despite playing through one. So that means Einstein is unlikely to put in effort to his subjects here. Therefore, option 2 is wrong. Next, option 3 and 4 has a result or a goal in mind. But you can see that over here, there isn't any goal that Albert Einstein is aiming towards. In fact, he crammed for exams, so probably he just wants to pass the examinations. That's all. Therefore, option 3 and 4 are not the most accurate answer. Therefore, my answer is number 1. Right? Okay, let's go on. Okay, everybody. Einstein found traditional schooling to be dull and unstimulating. Let's take a look at my options here. Okay, I see aspect say is boring. Very good. Boring is the answer. But what about bland? Actually, bland and boring actually have the same meaning, which means not interesting. Okay, but why is it we choose boring? Because boring refers to objects, whereas bland refers to a person or food. So I can say the soup is bland. So probably the soup tastes like water. There isn't that salty taste that I'm looking for. Now, recurring and repetitive both means that it happens multiple times. Okay. Let's move on to our next question. And let me just take out the MCQ for the next 3 questions. Okay. At 26, he earned his advanced academic degree and published 4 groundbreaking articles in physics that challenged what men understood about the concepts of gravity and time. Now, let's take a look at the options for question... I'm sorry, we missed out on question 18. Let's do 18 first, okay? However, he was impressed by people's drive to learn despite these factors. So, for 18, we have these options here, okay? Now, trigger means you activate something. Incentive means you pay somebody to do something. Motivation means you want to do something due to a reason. Encouragement means you support somebody. So in our question here, you want to learn despite some factors, for example, dull and boring lessons. So you want to do something. The answer would be number 3. Due to a reason. What reason do they want to do? It's not stated very clearly inside this text. But if you use the method of elimination, that means I cross out the wrong answers, the other options don't make sense. You support somebody. But over here, it's just yourself. People want to learn, so cannot. Next, you pay somebody to do something. There isn't anything about payment here. Trigger, you activate something. There isn't anything that causes somebody to do something. That's the meaning of activate. So my answer will be number 3. Okay, so if you are not sure of the meaning, the next tip that I can give you is number 1, to actually look up for your keywords. And number 2 is elimination. So what do I mean by keywords? Remember just now the question, despite playing truant. So over here means no effort. Therefore, those answers which suggest that Albert Einstein put in effort will not be the correct replacement for perform well. Now, elimination is the method that I just used. So I just cross out those that doesn't make sense and doesn't answer my text. Okay, let's go on to question 19. He earned his advanced academic degree and published 4 groundbreaking articles. So the words that we have here, attain. Attain means, okay, I see aspect. And Didi Lina say number 1. Okay, very good. Number 1 is the answer. Attain means you succeed in doing something. Now, we need to take note of the other 3 options because it may come up for your exams. Acquitted means you are free of, take note, criminal charge. Accept means you agree to do something. Accumulate means you gather something in increasing quantities. So if you take a look here, the only logical option is number 1. Well done, Dudu Lina and Aspect. Come, let's take a look at the last question for this text. This ultimately led to his own groundbreaking discoveries. These discoveries will establish him as one of the most famous scientists in history. So instantly means immediate. Generally means usual. Belated means later than expected. And eventually means the process that leads to outcome. Okay, so you see over here. Okay, I see Didi Lina say the answer is 4. Very good, the answer is 4. But why? Because in our text here, we can highlight some key phrases. He published 4 groundbreaking articles. Then he made discoveries. So you can see here, step 1, step 2. So there is something known as process here. So when we talk about process, the only option that is available to us is here, eventually, because of this keyword. Okay, so I'll let everybody digest the information for a bit before I go on to booklet B. Okay. If you are online now, please also drop a like and say hi to our dear class pet over here, Mochi. Hello everybody, hello. Please drop a hi to Mochi and to our friend Ronnie. Hello everybody. And Ronnie also brought another of his French fries friend with us. So if you want to know the name of his friend who is joining us soon, please also type in the comment section what is the name of your friend. Okay. Without further ado, let us go on to our grammar close. Okay, I see some people say hi to Mochi. Hello, Didi Lina. Hello, hello. Okay, come. Let's take a look at this text. It is unavoidable to have gotten on the nerves of one another occasionally when interacting with others. When you are dash a lot of stress, you might say something unkind or even lash out in anger to someone you care about. So, let's underline the keywords first. Stress. Stress is object. So we are talking about preposition related to object. So we can say under a lot of stress. Okay. Why is it under? Because stress is like a heavy weight, 100 kg on you. So when let's say there's a lot of stress on you, you feel very uncomfortable. You see, like how Mochi is feeling when my hand is pressing on his back. But once I release it, it feels comfortable. So you can see, stress is the same. When you're under a lot of stress, you may do something bad. For example, you lash out in anger. Okay, very good aspect. The answer is under. Okay, let's go on. All of us make thoughtless mistakes dash to time. Now, this one is also a preposition. And as stated, this is on time. So the answer that we always use is from. Very good aspect. Like forgetting a promise or saying something disrespectful. It dash important to apologize when you have hurt or angered someone. Okay, over here you can see apologize is present tense. And we are talking about this act of apologizing, which is singular. Therefore, the answer is. Okay, very good aspect. Come, if anyone else has the answers, please just type them in the comment section. When you have hurt or angered someone, now this is for question 32 is F. Even if you do not think what you have said or done is rude. Because over here they say you apologize when you have hurt or angered someone, but the next line says that even if you do not think it is rude. So over here we are talking about contrast. This versus this. See, when there's contrast, the correct word to use is even. Okay? Yeah, very good aspect for question 31. The answer is. Now, let's continue. Apologizing is hard, dash we do not want to feel bad about ourselves. So, the second part of this sentence shows you reason. So, when there is a reason, we always use the term because. Very good, May 1st. Because. We try to have a positive image of, see, the answer here is we. So if it's we, we will use the term ourselves. Very good aspect. May 1st also. Okay. Which can make sincerely apologizing quite hard. Dash not being able to own up to our own mistakes or make a sincere apology to someone when we need to can also prevent us from growing and learning from our experiences. So over here, you can see you want a positive image of yourself. At the same time, you do not want to own your mistakes. So again, they are contrasting ideas. Very good. I see H. However, very good. The answer is however. But if you take a look closely, this is the start of a sentence. Whereas question 32 is in the middle of a sentence. If you are talking about the start of the sentence, only a few words, a few conjunctions. Okay, this is what we call linking words are available to us. Like however, despite, although. These few words need to be at the start of a sentence. Okay, this is for everybody to take note. Okay, right now I'll give everybody some time to take a look at our text before I go on to editing. And if you have just joined our lesson not long ago, you can say hi to our friends Mochi here. Hello everybody, hello. And we also have Ronnie, the French fries here. Hello everybody, hello. Despite of, no, aspect. If you want to use the word despite, it will just be despite something. So despite my injury, I ran the race. There isn't any of here, no of. Despite fact 1, fact 2 at the back would just be present, okay? Unless you say in spite of my injury, then there's the word of present, okay? Just take note, aspect. All 4 conjunctions need to be at the start of a sentence, okay? Now, if anybody have any more questions like aspect, please don't hesitate. Just write your questions in the chat group. I will answer them. Okay, let's carry on now. For dash to be effective, okay, let me just show you my options. For dash to be effective, see, this question here, we're just talking about one apology. And over here, there's another word, has, which is singular. So for an apology to be effective, don't forget, apology starts with A. Very good, May first is N. To be effective, it has to be genuine. You want to convey that you feel truly sorry and care about the person who was hurt, and promise to make amendments, dash taking steps to avoid similar mistakes. As you can see, taking steps to avoid similar mistakes is a method. And before this dash, over here, you promise to make amendments, which is your point. So we always use the word by, because by shows elaboration. Very good, as when you want to show elaboration, this is what we do for question 37. Now, going on to question 38. It takes a lot of courage to admit that you have made a mistake, dash to apologize for it. So over here, you make a mistake and you apologize. Step 1, step 2. So to link them up, we use the word and. Okay, and is a conjunction. Very good, May first, as no, the word by cannot be used because by shows possession. So you can say Mochi was brought to class by teacher Nathan. So your by over here is to show the source of something. So you see, Mochi over here is brought by me. That's why he's on screen today to say, hello everybody, hello, hello. Okay? And everybody take note of that, please. That's why it's N. Okay? Yeah, good job, May first. The answer is N. Okay, I'll just give everybody 30 seconds to digest the information before we go on to our next section. All right. Let's go on to our, let's give me a moment as I pick up my vocab close section, okay? Now, okay, over here we have our vocab section, okay? A heat wave is currently sweeping across large areas of Asia. according dash local media. Okay, so you are referring to, you see, a source here. When you are referring to a source, the answer will always be to, according to somebody. At least 10 people had died in India. The extreme heat is affecting agriculture adverse. See, here it must be adversely. So it's spelled like that. Okay, if everyone can see clearly. Scientists have warned that this heat wave will persist because over here is future tense. Over in your next word, it needs to be in the base form. So a base form is your original word. Professor Emeritus added global warming is expediting. Okay, expediting. This is how you spell it. Extreme weather conditions, which may be threatening for those without adequate. Okay, can everybody see my spelling? Adequate. He warned that soaring temperatures were the result of climate change and the impact on vulnerable population would be disastrous. Okay, can everybody see my word over here? Disastrous. Many low-lying countries such as Singapore and Bangladesh have reported erratic rainfall. In particular, Bangladesh has been dramatically impacted by floods. See, floods is an object here, OBJ, object. Therefore, we use the word which. Whom is usually used for a person. It's a relative pronoun. Okay? Rescue has been hampered. Hampered is spelled wrongly, so this is the correct spelling. Many had chosen to remain indoors as a precaution. This is how you spell precaution. I do not recall seeing this kind of weather. Over here, we're talking about one type of weather. So we only use this for singular. This is for plural, which is wrong. Indeed, many countries continue to grapple with, because this is a challenge. So it's with. Onto is with, also talking about you are holding the object. So for example, Mochi can be holding onto my hand. See, Mochi grabs onto my hand so that it doesn't fall down onto the table. So this is what we call onto, this surface. But this question over here, we're talking about just generally challenges which cannot be held onto. Therefore, the word is grapple with. Okay, so that is all for our editing. Are there any questions? Please feel free to type them in the comment section. Now, if there are no questions, just let me go through some tips. Okay, some tips for editing. So there are a few kinds of question types. The first one is spelling. So they give you an incorrect spelling and you're supposed to give me the correct one, like question 43. Then there's something called tenses. For example, they give you persisting and you need to change to persist. Then the last kind is called word form questions. For word form questions, they include your verb to noun. So we also have adjective to noun. For example, a persuasive man versus the man's persuasion. Okay, so you can see this is how you change it. You have verb to noun and vice versa. So you can say he's able to do something versus his ability to do something. You see, there is a change in the word form. So, how do we study for all these kind of questions? Spelling requires you to read more, because when you read the newspapers, you read storybooks, the correct spelling is there. Tenses and word form, this requires what I call keywords. That is why every time I'm doing all these questions, I will always annotate, because all these annotations help you to be less careless and allows you to identify the correct word. Of course, all these three would your skills will also improve through practice. As all of you know, Google is our good friend to help us with practice. On the other hand, you also can tune into our TikTok live where we will be doing papers together. And through your exposure to these papers, you will also understand the tips and tricks needed to do well in this kind of practice. Okay, so without further ado, let me just quickly go through our synthesis and transformation. Okay, let's take a look at question 66. We were caught in a traffic jam. We did not arrive for our lessons punctually. So over here, you can see there is a cause and an effect. And the word so links your cause and your effect. So this is a very straightforward question. We were caught in a traffic jam. So we did not arrive for our lesson punctually. Pretty straightforward. Now, let's take a look at our second question here. James asked Molly, "Do you attend the concert by the world-renowned pianist yesterday?" Okay, before we go into the question proper, just take note that this is renowned. There's a spelling error here, okay? And this kind of question is known as a direct to indirect speech question. So what does this mean? We need to take note of the change in tenses, and we need to change a question to a statement. So if you take a look here, there's a question mark here, but a full stop here. So this is the second part. Next, we need to change the tenses. So what I like to do is I like to highlight the words I need to change. So I have did and attend and yesterday. So instead of starting the sentence with did, I need to change it to if. Over here I need to change the tense. But how do I change it? See, this is already did refers to past tense. So over here, I need it to be past perfect. So had attended. Then yesterday would be previous day. So the answer would be, James asked Molly if she had attended the concert by the world-renowned pianist the previous day. Now, how do I know how to change the tenses? I always like to use what I call a timeline. So, if Molly attend the concert, so this is present, past, and past perfect. So every time I want to answer such a question, I will ask myself, where do I start? So from where I start, I'll put a dot, then I'll move back one. So for this one, the question is really past tense because of the word did. So I move back one to become whether had attended. So if James asked Molly, are you attending? Do you attend concerts? See, if let's say my question now becomes like that, then my direct to indirect speech will be James asks Molly if she attended the concert. So over here, because it is present tense, I will go from here, move back one. So this here, this is how I draw the link and how I prevent careless mistakes. Is everybody clear on this so far? I see more and more people joining us. Welcome. I'm going through, this is Henry Park paper, and with us today on live, we also have Mochi, our class pen. Hello everybody. So please say hello to Mochi if you can. And also don't forget Ronnie with us today. Hello everybody. Ronnie is a special kind of French fries that you can't eat because he has a brain that can help us with our English. Now, if everybody is following so far, let me go through the vocabulary close short answer question in a bit. Alright, so here it is. Just give me a while. I prepare my materials. Okay. Something tells me that it is happening all at the zoo. It's the opening line of the 1960s pop song At the Zoo. In fact, a great deal is happening in the zoo world these days. Zoos and aquariums around the world dash over 700 million visitors a year. So you can see the answer over here is host or attract. And the reason is because zoos and aquariums, these are places. So when you have a place, and the next keyword I have here is visitors. So when I have a place and I have visitors, this would trigger the verb host. At the same time, you also can say attract. And my keyword or keywords for this is 6,000 animal species and 1,000 endangered species. So the huge number of animal species that I cannot see elsewhere, I can use the word attract. Okay. Now, zoos today no longer just display animals. They focus on educating the public about the Earth's remarkable biodiversity. At the same time, they also entertain and excite visitors. So you can see, they educate the public. This is one aim. And the second aim is to entertain and excite visitors. So we have two concurrent activities occurring at the same time. So if you have two concurrent activities, concurrent, another word we can use at the same time. This is a phrase that you need to use together. And you can see that this question already provides 3 of the words. So there isn't any other alternative answers, but there's only one word you can use for question 52, which is same. Now let's go on to question 53. Why there are so many zoos being urged to change quickly? First keyword I have, zoos. Zoos is plural. Okay, plural. So what does it mean by plural? This word over here must either be are or were. And this is present tense, change. So my only answer is are, which is why I wrote it here. Now, let's take a look at number 54. Menageries, which are collections of wild animals maintained to entertain the rich and royalty, have been around thousands of years. Your keyword is thousands of years. And thousands of years will make you want to come up with a preposition of time. And the reason why we use for is to show the continuity of time. Other common words that we can think of is until, which means a deadline. So for example, I have until 6:15 p.m. to teach you. That means at 6:15 p.m. I need to stop my TikTok live. Then we also have from 3:15 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. So this tells you 2 time periods. Okay, I hope everybody is following so far. Let's go on to the next question. There are ancient carvings and artworks from Egypt to Mesopotamia dating back to 2500 BC that show animals, cages and pits. So you can take a look here. Cages and pits, they are very constricting environments like the prison, like a cell, right? Like you can see. So this is one way I derive trapped. Not forgetting it is past tense because it is 2500 BCE. That means very long time ago. Okay. Now, dash their long history. Some critics are saying that zoos are simply bad for wild creatures. So you can see history. That means this is long history. So when there's a very long history, you may think that something must be good because everybody across different time periods accept it. That's why I put a thumbs up here. Okay, but at the same time, critics, that means people who disagree, say that zoos are simply bad. And because you have good and bad here, which means there is contrast. Contrast, you need to use the word despite as a linking word. Okay, linking words to show contrast. Can everybody see here? Other words include although, in spite of, and both words also are used at the start of sentences. Okay, now why do we use the word despite, not although or in spite of? Well, in spite of actually makes grammatical sense, but it's 3 words. Therefore, I cannot use it because this kind of closed passage only allows you to use 1 word. Now why? Now next one. Next, why is although not accepted? Although cannot be there, it needs to be they. So although they have a long history, So after although, I need to have a noun or a pronoun. So I can say, although zoos have a long history, if I use the word zoos or they, then this sentence will actually make sense and is accepted. Now let's take a look at question 57. The animal advocacy group, PETA, has dashed that zoos are cruel places. So as I talked about earlier, critics is people who disagree. So if they want to disagree and make their point, we use the word argue. Now, over here, there is also an assertion. So if you want to say something, you could say stated. Now, what if we use the word said? Is it accepted? What do you think? Maybe you can give a thumbs up if it's accepted in the comments. So the question is whether I can use the word said for question 57. What do you guys think? Now, if no one is asking, then I will ask Mochi also. Mochi, do you think said is accepted? No, I don't think it's accepted. Okay, the reason why Mochi said is not accepted, right? That said is not accepted, and which is the reason I'm also talking about, is because this question has specific keywords like critics. So critics, and also over here this assertion, we cannot use the word said because said is a very general word. This question is looking for a more accurate word. Okay, let me just put it here. Accurate word. So what is an accurate word? An accurate word actually takes into context the text passage and what it is talking about. Therefore, over here we can see critics and how they assert this fact. Therefore, a more accurate word would be argued or stated. Okay? Now let's move on to the next part. Take animals from their homes and deprive them dash over their lives, because you take them from their homes and over life, and this is life. Therefore, if you are going to deprive also, see I have 3 different keywords. Therefore, we will talk about freedom. If you want to use the word autonomy, it will also be accepted because these two have similar meanings. Okay, let's go on. However, famed animal activist Jane Goodall insists that based on scientific research, if designed well, you see, number 1, insist is a present tense. So this will affect how you select your answer. Next, if designed well. If shows possibility. That means it could be a 90%, but not 100%. Okay, let me just say this clearly first. Therefore, we use the word can, because can shows that it's possible to succeed and also a possibility of failure. She maintains that the best place for animals, take note, animals is plural, is not the zoos but dash habitats. Because animals is plural, we'll use the word there. Zoos are now changing their physical layouts. They are replacing traditional zoo designs such as cages and animal houses with larger and more naturalistic habitats. So naturalistic habitats is a place dash animals can roam freely. So over here, you can see that we will use the answer is where, because we are referring to a particular place. Please take note, because there are many different nouns here, including animal houses, cages, zoo designs, animals. We need to be very clear. What are we referring to as a relative pronoun over here? And how do I determine this is actually to take a look at the location of all these different nouns. So you can see that when I read this whole sentence, we are referring to this noun here, naturalistic habitats. And one of the reasons that allow me to determine this is because of its location in the sentence, which is near the relative pronoun. That's how I derive my answer. Instead of forcing wildlife dash human environment, see, this is also a place again. They are inviting humans into the creature's world. Some of you may say, because over here, the word into, therefore, we will follow the trend into the creature's world, over here, human environment. But I tell you that for this question here, we are talking about conjunctions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to learn the correct way, and not because of the trend. This is not the correct way to learn. Because over here we are talking about conjunctions and we are talking about place. Only a few conjunctions will come into play. For example, beside, inside, outside, over, under, into. And because we are talking about this is the enclosure, and we have humans outside. Then we have the viewing point here. Okay, you can do some viewing here. So we are talking about the humans entering this particular habitat. So we are going right here, so into this place, and because of this action, we will use this word. Okay, so this is how you will derive your answer for question 62. Another change is the species survival program, which brings together endangered animals from different zoos, offering them to breed. So over here you can see it's an outcome. And over here, we are talking about bringing together people from different zoos. So I would consider this to be a chance or opportunity. Now, why can't you use the word possibility? Can I use the word possibility here? What do you guys think? Yes or no? Please write in the comment section. I will also be asking our classmates this question. Okay, the reason why we cannot use the word possibility, offering them the possibility to breed, is because we are talking about this particular situation. Okay, and take note, possibility is not to. Possibility always goes with the word of, and this is the more important meaning. Possibility of something. You take note of this kind of small words, because they will affect the kind of word you can choose to write. Actually, possibility refers to this situation outcome is acceptable if we think of it this way. But because of this word to, we cannot use this word. Scientists there dash breeding program. So we are talking about a program. We are talking about an object. It's always set up. this is what we call a phrasal verb. That means the two words must come together in order to make a meaning. Okay, so let's take a look at the last question. It was a roaring dash, and our evidence here, 1,000 oxyces have been successfully returned to the wild. So this is something good, it's positive. So what is one word that we can use? Success. And also because the word roaring. Roaring will always go with success. It is not a phrasal verb, but the two words always come together. Okay? Now you may be wondering, so eventually, how do I go about doing my vocab close? So before we end the live, let me just give you some tips and tricks. Okay? Firstly, you need to have your keywords. Your keywords will guide you on what are the kind of questions that we are looking. So these keywords will include the tenses. They may include information. So for example, my keyword over here is insist, which tells me it is present tense. Can you see my word here? So this word is one keyword that will affect my answer. Next is information. So I will take a look at the question. Some keywords like if, can, based on scientific research. All these points to something being able to happen, and therefore I use the word can. Apart from keywords, we also need to think of other words, other things like phrasal verb. So these two words need to come together. For example, call out somebody. That means you want to point out someone's mistake. These two words need to come together. And we also have other phrasal verbs like set up. They need to come together regardless of what. Okay? And lastly, we also have something known as words that complement one another. So this means that your words that you select are very specific. And these are usually the questions that will determine somebody from AL1 and AL2. They are the determining questions. So if you take a look, for example, like roaring success. This one, there is only one answer you can give. Deprive an animal from house. This one, there's only one answer you can give. Freedom. There isn't any other words that you can choose to put here. So all these are known as specific words or words that complement one another question. Okay? So how do we prepare for all this? The keywords. This one is something that is done during exams. Highlighting or underlining your keywords is something that you need to start doing as a habit. Phrasal verbs come from reading. You can read newspapers, you can read books. When you encounter words or these kind of phrases that you don't understand, you need to search. It's only after you search, then you can learn. Okay? And lastly, all these words that complement one another also come from reading. Because if all of you don't know, your vocab close passages, you take a look at the bottom, usually there is a source here. And usually these sources are from magazines. So if you can train yourself to read magazines, you can find them on Google. Magazines, some of them are also free. And when you start reading that, that's where you gain knowledge. Lastly, my other tip is you need to practice. You need to do more of such exams exam papers to actually gain the kind of experience, and you will find that certain words actually keep repeating themselves. For example, freedom. This word actually comes out almost in a lot of the papers. Okay, I wouldn't say everything, but most actually have this. So actually, if you want to have more experience and have a few of these kind of common phrases at your fingertips, my advice is to practice. How do you practice? You can always do more of these examination papers. I mean, Google is your good friend to help you. Or you also can join us on our live sessions every day. Okay, you can check in with our admin on the timings. And for myself, I'll always come on a Sunday to teach English with you. Okay, now the time is going to be 6:15 soon, and I think we'll call it a day today. Okay, so before we leave, can everybody say goodbye to our classmate over here, Mochi? Bye, everybody. And we also have Ronnie with us today. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay, then we'll wave at you. Okay. Now, with that, we have come to the end of our live session. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. If you have any questions, you can feel free to post them on the chat and we can talk about them.